Hello there. Start this video off, I've already messed up. I'm going to be doing this incorrectly, but essentially I'm stealing YouTube user Matthew Colville. He has a set of campaign diaries, and I thought it was a fun idea, so I thought I'd do something similar. But essentially, I'm going to, before each session, I'm going to say what I've designed and what I expect to happen, and at the end of it, I'm going to say what actually happened and see what where my players choose to go. So I know a couple of them are subscribed to me, and I don't know if they'll actually watch this because I'm pretty sure none of them get notifications. But if they do, kudos to you, I guess. You get to peek behind the door, peek behind the curtain. What was I gonna say? I would have my face in this, but I don't have a proper webcam, so I'll just be using pictures. I'll probably put some of the music I designed for a campaign in here as well. But essentially, I guess I'll just start with the characters. So we have Sariel. She's a half-elf monk, right? We have Samus, who is a warforged, but he's like tailored to this campaign, so he's kind of like a warforged, but more of a robot. He's a paladin, a death paladin. I've changed the gods for this campaign. That's the big thing, is all of the gods are different than normal D&D. I'll get through the characters and I'll explain that next, I guess. But essentially, next character we have is Triss. He is a half-elf rogue, specifically a swashbuckler. He was a pirate. Then we have Vulpin, who is a half-elf ranger. And then we have Willoughby, who is a tiefling sorcerer, who is also a motivational speaker. So essentially the setting of this campaign is that I have changed around the gods. Basically there's a god of gods who's created like the god of fire, god of earth, water, wind, and time. And then she's also created the god of life and god of death. So essentially the campaign starts with the characters getting kidnapped by a organization called the Star Protection Agency. They are trying to test and make sure. Oh, that's the other thing. I'm sorry. There are also Celestials, which are they're underneath the power of normal gods, but they are also deities in themselves. They kind of protect over our world. They bless certain individuals with power. Those people are called Starborn. Everyone in the group is a Starborn, and that means they each have individual, unique powers. Like Samus can take a bonus action to push people. Both our swashbuckler Triss and our motivational speaker Willoughby, they can both, since they pick the same sign, they can once a day use it in any item in their bag to gain advantage on some sort of charisma check, but they have to use the item. So yeah, just really specific stuff like that. But they have been kidnapped by the Star Protection Agency because they are trying to recruit Starborn to their cause to help them, and they will do so at whatever cost necessary. So the first area is kind of like an interview. It opens with a puzzle. I had no idea how simple it was going to be or how complex it was going to be. It is legitimately the first puzzle I've ever designed in the first game I've ever DM'd. So it was very nice seeing, like, it wasn't just like a really easy puzzle that all my friends just blew through. It was like I got to see a couple of them go, oh wait, what if we do this? And I mean, they guessed right on the first time they said that, but it seemed like they had a that sudden burst of inspiration you get, or like realization when you finish, when you understand a puzzle, and that was really satisfying to see them do that. And then the next room, we get introduced to the first three characters. They are also Starborn, and we put their they're basically Team B. So Team A, which is the party, now has to fight Team B. And I kind of expected this to go like, I kind of expected like scathing and sniting remarks from either side going at each other, and so that the party could learn about the characters a little bit as they fought. I tried to characterize them through their actions and gestures and what they wore. Like, we have Cal, who is a very skinny, very skinny elf wearing giant, huge, clunky armor, but he still has like this fire in his eyes. Like, he is completely confident in his ability, even though he just looks completely unprepared for this. And then we have Paula, who is a dwarven woman ranger, and she is incredibly fashionable, but she still has this very bold look on her face, like she's trying to get shit done. Then we have Yolanda, who is a human woman sorcerer, and she does not look like she belongs here. She's very flustered. She actually doesn't know any combat spells. She only knows stuff like sleep, levitate, and mage hand, and stuff like that. I thought that was funny. So what I expected to happen is that I'd teach them their character a little bit, and I'd soften the party up for the next room, and in the next room is where I wanted our swashbuckler to die, because our swashbuckler's character is very romantic, and I wanted them to die because I set up this mechanic where in this area, when they die, they don't actually die. They get teleported, and through some means they do not understand, they will be healed back to their full potential. And essentially, I wanted our Triss to die and then wake up in a room where they could watch the battle still ongoing. But more importantly, they had the charming Dr. Leroy. What ended up actually happening was Triss on the very first room, or not in the very first room, in the room where with the battle going on, they just did not want to fight them. They were like, oh, why are we fighting these people? They are clearly, here to fight us. They're Team B. They should be our comrades, So the player is a woman. The character is a man. He rolled a nat 20 on trying to persuade them. So naturally, I had to give that up. But unfortunately, they were only able to convince 2 of the 3 people. So the third woman, the third enemy, Paula, she shot Triss right through the skull, and that was a surprise attack. And then we rolled initiative, and she had the highest initiative, so she just shot Triss through the skull a second time, and Triss died before they ever saw a lick of combat and just woke up in the doctor's office. Ended up working out a lot, actually, a lot better than I expected, because what ended up happening was, as the players fought through the battle, Triss got more and more people to talk to, so it became like death was a very rewarding experience in this situation, because they were able to speak to the characters and learn a little bit more about what was going on. So then the next room was a very complicated game I had set up, where everyone was in a pod. They essentially could attack any other member, any other person in the room. They could defend and they wouldn't be hurt or pushed, or they could push, which means they could move themselves forward a square or move someone else back a square. They were all sitting like in this big grid, and 15 squares away in front of them was a finish line. Essentially, I was trying to pit them against each other, and what I expected when I designed this was that there were 3 enemy pods. The B team just got their own pods, and there were 5 of the party. So I expected, like, the first person to get across the finish line gets a special reward, the second person to get across the finish line gets a special reward, the third person to get across the finish line doesn't get anything, but if 3 of them didn't get across the finish line, then their team would have lost. So essentially, I expected them to just rip each other to shreds, but that's not what happened. It seemed more like they focused on the enemy team first, which was nice, because it gave me a lot of insight to how the team works. But once the enemy team was gone, it all hell broke loose. The sorcerer cheated. He used Charm Person on one of the enemies. our paladin actually used a magic. Magic had been essentially the person who had been telling them what to do told them that they could only use the abilities in the pod, and both of them had cheated. The paladin just put Shield of Faith around one of the other pods to make it look like that pod was trying to protect themselves. So that was fun. I rewarded them for that, and then Triss just lockpicked their pod and just made a run for it, and then everyone on the team basically turned to them and gunned them the fuck down, and it was great. I liked both aspects of that, of them making a run for it and everyone just turning on them. But essentially they win, they get into the next area, they get their congrats, they get to understand a little bit more what's going on, and then at this point I was kind of rushing through all of this. I was trying to just get it over with since it had gone on a lot longer than I expected, and then they got to get into the new area, and now we decided that they wanted to do they get to go to their home base. They have, this is where the Team A and Team B chill. They have bed, kitchen, all that stuff. It's like a little cabin in the woods just for them. There's a town nearby. Excuse me. I expected that last area though to work a lot better than it did, and it sucks that it was basically broken. Like, once I got to the table and actually was like getting it ready, I was like, wait, this doesn't make any sense, and I had to like pull out a board and start keeping track of everything and all this stuff. But it got better as the game went on, so that makes me feel good that like I was able to improv that out. But other than that, I think everything went pretty good. Everyone got most of a level, so next session they should be leveling up. Yeah, so basically we just ended right before, like, everyone picked something out to do for downtime, and then we just kind of ended there. So I'm looking forward to what we do next week, and overall, it's pretty good, but this next video will make more sense, because it'll be 2 segments. I'll do what I've designed and what I expect to happen, and then I'll do what actually happened. But yeah, thanks for listening, and have a good one. Bye.